Welcome back, watch fans. We're going to be talking about the Rolex Yacht Master II. The Yacht Master II, the dumpster fire, the disaster, the Hindenburg of Rolex. Should you be buying one of these? Is this a bargain? Now, why am I even mentioning this atrocity? It's because a punter left a comment, something about, I was talking about the Yacht Master, and he said, oh, you should get the Yacht Master II. That is the ultimate watch, and or something else. Something along, I have heard that comment several times. Now, let's talk about this watch. What is this monstrosity? This is basically, technically it's a tool watch for timing yacht races, regatta races. Okay, now, how many people actually use this function, use this type of watch for timing a regatta race? There's like 3 people on the planet maybe who use this regularly. So again, I've said this before, unless you're the captain of the winning boat in the America's Cup, or you're like a very heavy duty, racing sailor, you cannot wear this watch. Otherwise, you're going to be a clown, a buffoon. Okay. Now it's interesting. Actually, Lamania made this type of movement back in the day, back in the 70s. So it's not anything that innovative. Apparently, it's I don't know. I'm not a horologist. So I can't tell you if this is some sort of, genius thing or not. But yeah, to me, this is an ugly watch. It's a huge watch. It's like 43 millimeter. There's no purpose to it. Form follows function. That's my philosophy. And this thing is just, you're going to look like a clown again, unless you are, a professional, sailor or something along those lines. A really heavy duty, or you know what? If you get the two-tone model, and you know what? Maybe you're selling, $2 million, $5 million sailboats, you can get away with it because, that's a very kind of rarefied, unique world. Again, if you're selling these, carbon fiber boats for $10 million, you can wear one. Now, what's interesting? When I had my yacht, that's right, I'm a former yacht owner, and this was in Marina del Rey, and there was there's actually 2 amazing boats that would get pulled up over there, and they'd pull them out of the water and dry dock them. Actually, no, one of them was pulled out, and it was one of these racing yachts. It was carbon fiber. The thing looked like a spaceship. It was white, but it was like all like it was like amazing. And it was owned by the guy who I think a former founder of SAP, the German software company. The guy is obviously a billionaire, and I remember the boat would get pulled up, right, like where my boat was docked was right in front of where the lift was, because that's the cheap spot. Well, actually, it's not really the cheap spot. It was I did get a good deal. That's why I was there, but it would get noisy sometimes. But yeah, this guy's like in the morning. Sometimes I'd wake up and this guy's boat is getting pulled out of the water. It's a little bit noisy, and yes, I asked his captain. By the way, his captain was not wearing one of these watches, one of these pretentious watches. So this guy's captain, I don't know if he was a captain, but he was one of the guy who took care of the boat, right? And he said, this guy, Mr. SAP, he had, I think he said he had like 3 of these. Like he had one in LA, Marina del Rey, which we would use, for local races. He had one like in Spain and one somewhere else. But basically, he would use this boat like, 10 days a year maybe. 20 days a year, and the rest of the time the boat was out of the water on the, sitting on this dry, kind of a dry, I don't know what you call it, dry dock. It's up on a not a lift, but on stilts basically. Pretty expensive, but and again, every time you pull it out of the water, put it in, you got to pay. I don't know, it was like $1,000 or something. Maybe you got a deal, whatever. But they do that because obviously you want to keep the barnacles off and all that. You don't want any riffraff coming aboard your boat. But that is the type of person who can wear this watch. Most of you knuckleheads don't even know how to swim. Most of you guys can't even. You'd be afraid to go into a kiddie pool, a 1 foot, one of those outdoor, one of those plastic things you put in the backyard. That's what most of you guys have, and you got like a little plastic rubber ducky or something that you have in your bathtub. That's the extent of your sailing, yachting experience. Oh yeah, the other guy was Frank Gehry. Frank Gehry, the famous architect. He had a crazy yacht made out of balsa wood. Ridiculous. It was titanium stuff. Crazy, crazy boat. I think he owned it with, he was partnered with some big real estate guy. They would also pull it out and dock it there. And it's amazing that Frank Gehry at that time, this is 6, 7 years ago, the guy was in his 80s, and he built that boat. It's probably a $10 million boat. And, it's very, it's inspirational that a guy at that age is, thinking big, thinking, of advanced things. Most 80-year-olds are, they're basically, I don't know, they're sitting at home watching TV. They're already done with life. And this guy's building, crazy, yachts. And you know what? Speaking of Frank Gehry, I bet he didn't have one of these. I bet he did not. So, again, this watch is for clowns only. Clowns only, or, guys who are serious pros, like, if you're selling one of these racing yachts for, 10, 20 million, you can wear one of these. Okay, maybe even like a power boat. Maybe even like, you're selling a 200, 100 meter yacht in Monaco. You can get away with it. Yeah, you can get away with that. Even if you don't even know how to, sail, but at least you know how to, push the throttle on a motorboat. You can get away with one of these. That's it. You cannot own one of these otherwise. All right. End of story. That's it for all you tomato cans. Make sure you leave your vicious and nasty comments below. Again, on the wrist, Royal Oak day date moon phase. The moon. You see where the moon is right now? That's right. Hang on. Let me give you a little close up. Look at this beautiful light. That's it. I'll tell you, Audemars Piguet. Yeah, this watch. Every time it changes with a different light, gives you a new experience. I can't even give you the extent of. Look at this. Now this is very basic light. In candlelight, incandescent, dark lighting, this is where it comes to life. It's amazing. All right, leave your vicious comments below, and if you want a free collection review, make sure you email brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com. brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com. We'll give you a review of your collection. Hopefully, you don't send any shitters. Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, that type of stuff is what we review. No Hublots, please.